Good morning and welcome back to a successful transition from monogamy to open. This week we've been talking about what I call the big four negative emotions that really can affect people when they're trying to make major changes, and especially changes like opening up a relationship. We've talked about fear, we've talked about shame, we've talked about guilt, and today we're going to talk about the last one, which is embarrassment. Embarrassment is a self-conscious emotion. It's that thought of, what are other people going to think of me? Have I, behaving in accordance to the social standards and how other people evaluate you and how you evaluate yourself. In many ways, it's that wondering if we've done something silly or stupid, or made some mistake that someone's noticed and is judging us for. And then we start judging ourselves for it. It's very much a learned emotion. People are not born with this. If you look at young children, 1, 2, 3 years old, they're not embarrassed by their bodies. They're not embarrassed by exploring their bodies and find which parts of their bodies feel really good to touch. Little kids do this naturally. They will happily run around stark naked without a care in the world, without worrying about, oh, somebody thinks my stomach is too big or my butt's too big or whatever else. It just doesn't dawn on them that they should even feel this because they haven't been taught it yet. And that's a huge problem for people with their sexuality in general. How many people insist on having sex in the dark or under the covers because God forbid that your partner should see your naked body. I'm always shocked by how many people I've worked with who will tell me that they rarely, if ever, see their partner naked because their partner won't allow it. And this is the person that you're committed to, and yet you can't be allowed to see them naked because they're too embarrassed. Or they're too embarrassed to engage in sexual behaviors that they actually really like and enjoy, but, oh my God, that's going to show off too much my body. Or, I can't be on top because the person is going to be able to see all of me. It's very difficult in how people hold themselves back and limit their expression because of their embarrassment. And certainly when we come into areas of more unique desires, embarrassment around sexuality can be a huge issue. When people are trying to get into things like swinging or polyamory, people are embarrassed by what their families might think if they find out, what their kids might think if they find out. Again, it's that embarrassment about their bodies, embarrassment about someone finding out they've had very few sexual partners, and are they going to think that I don't know what I'm doing? Or the opposite, the fear that, oh, I've had too many partners, and what labels and what terms are we going to call that person because they've had a larger number of sexual partners, and what that supposedly means about them. And not only what we tell ourselves that it means, but what we tell ourselves society will say about us. I think that's probably more prevalent for women than men. Let's face it, there's a lot of very negative names that we get called if we've had more sexual partners, or even if it's perceived that we've had more sexual partners, whether or not it's true. I think we all know the names, so I don't have to go into them all because that would be a long list. But embarrassment really can affect people's ability to get out there and just be themselves. It's kind of the old saying, dance like you think that nobody's watching. And being able to engage in open relationships and just be yourself without worrying about whether or not somebody is watching and what somebody else's opinion of you is. It's your relationship. You get to define what it means. Whether it looks anything like your parents, your siblings, your neighbors, your friends, doesn't matter. You're not them. So tomorrow we're going to wrap this up. We're going to talk about ways to manage some of these negative emotions and how to keep them under better control. And then we will finish out the week. So I hope you can join me tomorrow, or you can watch this sometime tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. And if you are interested in joining the private Facebook group, A Successful Transition from Monogamy to Open, please go ahead and do so. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.